Welcome to the Curate Your Life podcast with Temetria, where we focus on curating the life you've been dreaming of, one goal at a time. So I want to say welcome to February. It's birthday month for me, and I sometimes do celebrate all month in some sort of way. So I want to say cheers, and I want to just share a little bit with you how I normally celebrate my birthday and why, and give you some life tips from my perspective, from my time here on earth. But yeah, I used to kind of look at this like my new year. I would celebrate the new year, and a long time ago, I would make resolutions. And like I've talked about in the past, the resolutions kind of went by the wayside week 1 or 2 or whenever. And I always looked at February as an opportunity to do over, to do it again. But as I've said before, you don't need a Monday. You don't need the beginning of the month. You don't need a new year. You just need to take your next best step, do the next thing that will get you to where you're going. So I've stopped doing that. I've stopped making New Year's resolutions, and I've stopped looking at February as that opportunity to start again, because I would call it my new year, right? And so I would use that time to start again the things that I didn't really do in January. So anyway, we don't do that anymore. But what I do on my birthday is I really take some time to reflect and think about where I've been the last year and what happened, celebrate what lessons did I learn, and then think about what I want for the upcoming year, what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, who I want to be. And so I do that a little bit more, in February on my birthday, but I also kind of do that all the time, right? With journaling and planning and really being purposeful and intentional about how I spend my days. So I do kind of take that time as a look back and a look ahead, but that's something that I do on a regular basis. On my birthday, I like to take a little bit of a deeper look, right? And spend a little more time kind of appreciating things. So when I was working full time, I would take the day off, right? If it was during the week, I would take the day off and I would plan something. I like plans. I like to have plans. So I would plan a trip to the spa, or I would plan lunch with a friend. I would have some sort of plan because I wanted to celebrate and enjoy the day. And I do that. I try to do that in life, right? In everyday life. So that's one of the things. I don't get hung up on the number because it is just a number, and it's not about the number. It's about the quality of the life that you're living. And so I've tried to be very intentional about that and really find joy and live a life that is joyful and meaningful for me. So if you'll indulge me, I want to share some life tips that are probably common sense. Common sense isn't always common. So maybe these are just reminders for you or something to think about. So the first one is to be kind. It is very easy to be kind. I think it takes more effort and more energy to be nasty or to be ugly than to just be kind. To smile at somebody that you see in the grocery store, to wave, to hold a door, to just say something nice, or to just look a person in the eye. I think we get so busy, and I think we go, and I think we're kind of disconnected from ourselves sometimes and disconnected from other people. But just looking that person in the eye, looking another human being in the eye, we all want to be seen and heard and understood. And I really do think, even if you don't say a word, even if you never see that person again, if you look at somebody and smile, you don't know. It could change their day. That could be the first time that anyone has looked at them or acknowledged them or smiled at them in weeks. You just never know. And it is absolutely free. It costs you nothing. And one thing that I would offer is to do it and expect nothing in return, right? They may not smile back. It doesn't matter. Somebody else may smile at you, and that may be your return for that act of kindness. And I'm saying smile. It could be anything, right? And like, you could buy the coffee for the person behind you at Starbucks. You could call a friend that you haven't talked to and just say, hey, I've been thinking about you. It could be absolutely anything. But when you do it, if you do it from a space of just wanting to put something out there and not expecting anything in return, I promise you it will fill you up. You will get something back. You will get something from it. Maybe not right then, but I do believe in karma, and I do believe that you get what you put out into the world. So be kind, and be kind to yourself. It should start with being kind to yourself, being your best friend. And if you do that, it will be so much easier to be kind to somebody else. But if you spend all of your time beating yourself up and talking to yourself in a negative way, you're not going to want to smile at Joe Blow walking down the street, right? So it does start with being kind to yourself. And I know for some people that's hard. I do know people that are just so hard on themselves, and that's heavy, right? So maybe I've gotten off on a tangent, and we might need to talk about this another time, but that may be the place that you need to start. Be kind to yourself on a regular basis. And I oftentimes ask myself, hey, what do you need? Like, I will ask myself, if I have angst, or if I'm feeling anxious, or if I'm feeling sad, or just not feeling 100% for some reason, I ask myself, like, what do you need? And I really think about it, and I give myself some time and some space to answer that question. And sometimes it's like, I need a nap, or I need to connect with friends. I need a dinner out with friends to laugh, or I need to read a book, or I just want to sit and mindlessly watch TV or something like that, But taking the time to think about and understand what I need and why. So, okay, that's be kind, and it starts with being kind to yourself. The other thing that I want to say is do what you say you're going to do. Keep your word. Keep your word to yourself and what you promise yourself that you're going to do, and keep your word to others as best you can. I know life sometimes happens, but be a person who does what they say they're going to do. Don't be flaky. And in that, know that you can say no. So when I say do what you say you're going to do, commit to the things that you want to commit to, and don't feel obligated or people please. So then you won't be in the position of saying that you will do something just to please somebody else, and then when it comes down to it, you don't want to do it, and then you get resentful that you have to do something because you said yes. So do what you say you're going to do, but when you say you're going to do it, mean it, and don't just people please or feel obligated. So the other thing is be prepared. Y'all know I'm a planner, and people are resistant to planning because they say, oh, they like to be spontaneous or things come up. And I think that if you plan, you have more space for spontaneity. You have more space for the things that come up. A lot of times those things that come up are predictable and can be handled and managed better when you have a plan. And when you have a plan and you're organized and you know what you're doing in your life, when the unexpected things really do come up, you are better prepared to handle them because you're not running around in life putting out fires all the time. Things are planned, things are organized. So if something happens that you really need to stop and attend to, you're not last minute trying to do something. Like, you have your life together and planned, and you know when things are going to happen, when things are supposed to happen. And so if all of a sudden you have to drop something on a Tuesday to go deal with something else, you're not still putting out Monday's fires, right? Like, Monday is handled, that's done. You have plans for Wednesday, Thursday, and you can see where and how you can fit the Tuesday things in somewhere else so you can go handle the emergency or whatever that's come up. So be prepared. Do a little planning. It will take you a long way. The next thing is to find joy. Figure out what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And if you don't know what brings you joy, just pay attention as you're going through life. And when you have a feeling of, oh, I'm happy right now, or I feel joy, or I feel relaxed, like whatever feeling of contentment you have, notice what's going on when you're feeling that. Notice who is around you when you feel that way. Notice what you're doing. And then try to do more of that thing that brings you joy. Try to spend more time with that person who is calming to you, or who's funny and makes you laugh, and or just who understands you, who is really present with you in the moment, who makes you feel happy. If you feel content when you're reading a book and you're immersed in a good story, make more time for that. Find joy. And then the next thing I will say is to keep growing, keep stretching yourself, keep working on getting better, doing better. Because I have said before, and I really do believe that when we stop growing, when we stop trying to improve or to be a little bit better, or to just stretch ourselves in some kind of way, we become stagnant. And I really do believe in use it or lose it. I've seen it. I've seen it happen to people when they stop doing things, stop going. They just atrophy, physically and mentally. If you're not reaching for something, if you're not growing, if you don't have a purpose, if you're not moving forward, you are slowly dying. I believe that, and it may sound harsh, but I really believe that's true. So be kind. Do what you say you're going to do. Follow through. Keep your word. Be prepared for life. Find joy. Find what brings you joy. And keep growing. Keep moving forward. That's what I have for you this week. If you want to continue this conversation, if you want to talk about how you can find joy in your life, how you can keep moving forward, I'm here for you. You can schedule a consultation. The link is in the show notes, and I'd be happy to talk to you about how you can move forward and do the things that you want to do in your life. Until next time.